Hey guys, today's video is going to be Wyatt's 10-month baby update and my 10-month postpartum update. Wyatt's actually napping right now, so I don't have him here with me, but I have started daily vlogging as well, so if you're interested to see what he looks like, how big he is, watch him do some of these things that I'm talking about, you can definitely go watch that. I will leave the playlist linked in the description box below, so you can just click there and watch our vlogs. If you're interested in that, it's just easier to film a baby update without the actual baby here. I'm just going to jump in right where I left off last month for his 9-month update, which was him having croup. So he did get croup twice when he was like in the 9-month range. So within the last month he has had croup twice, which was really scary. Croup is like when I don't know if it's your vocal cord, something in your throat starts swelling. So he was literally gasping for breath. It was terrifying. He was so sick. This past week he has finally gotten rid of any residual cold that he had. He had it for over a month. It was probably a month and a half of stuffy nose, runny nose, croup, coughing, can't sleep, like all of that. He has books stacked up under his crib to try and like elevate it a little bit to help him breathe a little easier. It's been a little bit of a rough time. He now weighs 19 pounds and 7 ounces. At 9 months, he was 18 pounds 10 ounces, so he gained almost a pound in the last month, which I think is pretty good. We were concerned, well, my doctor was concerned about his growth at his 9-month doctor's appointment, so we now need to go every month and get him weighed and checked. And she was pretty happy with 1 pound, but thinks he should have gained even more in the last month, which I think a pound a month is a lot for a baby at his stage of life, especially because when they're like first born, their growth is like super rapid, but then like they start not plateauing, but like the slope gets less steep the older they get. So now every single month we need to go have a doctor's appointment. I'm really sorry about my computer in the background. It's so loud. I need a new one, but I need that as my monitor. So I'm really sorry about that. We did not measure his height or his head this past month though, but I'd say he's didn't really get all that much taller since last month. He's still wearing 12-month clothes, fit him the best. He's starting to get into 12 to 18-month clothes depending on the brand. He's wearing size 4 diapers. In terms of his sleep schedule, if you've been watching the vlogs, you will be able to see we've been having some bedtime troubles. It can take hours to get him down to bed, and even then I need to go in and like put him back to sleep at least twice, if not 5-6 times a night. It's been getting really exhausting on me. Like last night I had one of those like bad mom moments where you're just like, will you just go to sleep? And like he's an infant. So I felt bad afterwards, but it was like, it's been weeks of a huge bedtime struggle, even though the routine has been the same. It's been ever since he was sick, so there is that. But yeah, that has been the biggest thing the last month or so. Once we move and are in our new house, I will be sleep training him. I want him to have naps at the same time every day, go to bed, wake up at the same time every day, because I think that will just make things easier. I was, up until now, having kind of like a really loose schedule. The only thing was he couldn't nap when I had to go get Max from school, obviously, but if he woke up a little later in the day, he would have his nap whenever he was tired. I would nurse him and put him to sleep whenever he was tired. But now the older he gets, that's really not working well for us, because if he pushes his naps too far ahead during the day, that pushes bedtime. And since bedtime is already a nightmare, I really need him to start like having naps at the same time every day. I don't feel like there's any point in doing that since we're only going to be in this house for 2 more weeks. So there's really no point in sleep training him now, and then he's going to move and have a new bedroom, all of that. I would have to start over anyways. So that is the number one thing that I wanted to share, is we've definitely had a sleep regression. And everyone talks about having a big sleep regression at 4 months, and I was like, Wyatt still sleeps through the night. He's such a good sleeper. And now I'm like, help me. In terms of what he's eating pretty much everything we're eating now in pretty decent chunks. Like, I'm not cutting it up into like the tiniest of pieces anymore. I'm giving him like pretty good sized pieces. This morning I gave him a banana just like as it was, and he was taking, like, shoving as much banana in his mouth at a time as he could, and then he'd like have a few bites and then spit out some of it. So at least he's kind of learning what is too much for his mouth, which he wasn't doing before. He would just kind of like shovel everything in, and I could only even like put a certain amount of food on his tray at a time. Now I just give him his supper on his tray, and he will like put some in his mouth, chew, swallow, put some in his mouth. So he's getting a lot better at eating. And the amount of food this kid is eating has increased so much. And I think that's partly to do with his activity level spiking so much, which I'll get into in a minute. But so for breakfast, he had a banana and a pouch, like one of those pouches with like little, almost like a straw on the top. I just gave him one of those, and he knows how to like squeeze it himself to eat it, which is amazing that I don't have to like spoon feed him purees anymore. And then he didn't have breakfast until like 11 because he woke up at the crack of dawn this morning, and then he was napping when he would normally have breakfast. And then by the time he has finished that, it was almost lunchtime. So I didn't set him in his high chair for lunch, but then he ate half of mine. So he puts away quite a lot of food now. I'm loving the pouches. I thought I would stop buying baby food just because he's not really a baby anymore, but the simplicity of like twisting off the cap and handing him a pouch and having him feed himself like a good amount of nutritious food is so much easier. I just find that better for my peace of mind instead of just putting food on his tray, because let's be honest, half of that ends up on the floor or like jammed in beside him, which you think he's eaten a lot. So you're like, oh, the floor is relatively clean today, his tray doesn't have a bunch of food on it, and then you pick him up with a high chair and a whole bunch of food falls on the floor. So I've been giving him pouches still at about 2 a day, just to make sure that I know that he's getting the fruits and vegetables and stuff into his body, because he eats the whole thing. Okay, so now I'm going to get into like the milestones or whatever that he's hit. I always write these down. So Max taught him how to fake laugh, which is so annoying. Max does it a lot and it drives me nuts, and now Wyatt has picked it up. So it's not even when he thinks something is funny, because then he'll laugh for real, but when he's, I don't know, just being silly, he like ha 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 ha, like sitting there to himself, and I'm just like, oh great. So that is definitely something he has learned. He has started cruising around the furniture on the 4th. It's the 17th as I'm filming this, super late. He turned 10 months over a week ago. But he started cruising around the furniture, and now he's going from one piece of furniture to another piece of furniture. And he will reach for you and like let go of something only for a second to then like grab a hold of something else or someone else. I don't think it's going to be too long before he's walking. He is being a lot more cautious than I thought he was going to be. Wyatt has always been wild. Like, Max is a very cautious baby when it came to walking as well. He held on and did the cruising thing for a very long time. And I thought Wyatt would like just dive right into it and deal with all of the bumps and bruises that comes along with it. But I don't know, he starts like whining and he's scared and he like does a little dance on the spot, like he wants to take a step but he's too nervous. Again, that's in the vlogs. I'm just gonna keep plugging that at you because I've been working really hard on those. But he started cruising. I don't know how long he's going to be until he's walking. He's trying, but he is very nervous of falling down. He finds the transition from like once he's up on the furniture, he needs help getting down because he doesn't want to just let go and like plop on his bum. So he's been starting to, even if he's on the other side of the living room, cruise around the furniture until he gets over to where he has a Fisher-Price car, like the big car that has all the buttons and stuff, which is about half the height of the coach. So he'll go from the coach to the car and then to the floor, like to ease himself down. It's so funny. On the 5th, he started waving more consistently. So every once in a while, if you'd say hi or bye, he would wave, but really not often enough that I would have said like, oh yeah, he can wave. But now when you say like, say goodbye, he does like the backwards open and closing of his hand, and hi, not as much as bye, he will wave. So that's becoming more and more consistent. He still hasn't mastered it, but he's getting there. He now says cheese, not as in cheese for the camera, but as in the food cheese, which is his favorite snack. If I'm eating nachos, he wants the cheese off of it. If we're having tacos, macaroni, whatever, if I'm making something with cheese, he wants a chunk of it and he will say cheese again in the vlogs. But I think that's super cute. So now he's saying yeah, mom, dada, and cheese. Oh, 4 words. He says something that resembles Max every once in a while. It's more like Mac. But I don't know if I'm comfortable saying that he is up to 5 words yet, because it's not quite there, and he doesn't necessarily do it to get Max's attention, whereas he says mom and dada to get our attention, or that he wants us, and then cheese, he wants the food. Like, he's using the words in the right contexts, and I don't know if he's quite there yet with Max. He has started to hand you things, whether it's a toy, to show you food. With food, a lot of times he just shows you and then shoves it in his mouth, and he thinks that's funny. Even if he has my phone, so he'll be kind of like, oh, I got your phone, because he knows he's not allowed to have it, because he like took a chunk out of my little button here, which I don't think you can see, but with his teeth. So if he gets a hold of it, he'll be like, oh, I got it, and then he like tries to hand it to me. And sometimes he'll let me take it, and other times he lets me get my hand on it, and then it's kind of a tug of war. So he has started like offering up things as well as taking things, which I find interesting. And only in the last few days has he started feeding you food. So like this morning he had the big banana, and of course he offers you the gross pieces. So he had a huge mouthful of banana, like way too much for him to chew and swallow. So he like gave it a few bites, spit out most of it, broke it into a few pieces, and then offered me some. Like, this was too much for me, here you go. And that is the running theme so far. If it's anything of value to him, like a food that he really likes, he will not give you any. But if he's like, doesn't really want to eat it, doesn't want to finish it, or I don't know, he will offer to, and he will try and stick it in your mouth whether you want it or not. Alright guys, that is everything I had on my list. Sorry if I'm a little low energy today. It is St. Patrick's Day, which is why I have like green makeup on, and my highlight is even green, because what other day can you wear green highlight? But for us, St. Patrick's Day is not the happiest of days, which I won't really get into, mostly because I don't want to cry. But yeah, so I'm a little bit low energy, but it is Saturday, which is a great day for me to film a sit-down video for you. I've been vlogging for the last 2 weeks. You haven't really gotten a lot of sit-down videos from me since I started doing that, so I wanted to throw one in. And of course it was going to be Wyatt's 10-month update, since I'm over a week late with that again this month. So, oh, I completely forgot about my postpartum update. We're not done yet. Okay, wow, postpartum. So I had a doctor's appointment along with Wyatt for his 10-month checkup, and I had a checkup as well to start birth control, because, you know, don't want another baby right now. And also, I'm going to give you your TMI warning right now. If you are a family member that doesn't want to know intimate details about my body, then don't watch this part. If you are a mama that is interested in postpartum, then of course keep watching. But that was your warning. I like to throw those in there because I have had, especially men watching, get a little thrown by all this information. But postpartum updates, I feel like, are just as important as the baby updates. So here we go. I also wanted to try a low dose birth control, so it has very minimal hormones in it, because I in the past have had pretty severe side effects to birth control, mostly mentally. It makes me feel like I'm basically PMSy 24/7 for the whole month. Like, it doesn't stop. So it makes it hard to be the mom that I want to be, as well as the partner for Jeremy. But also, I found it really detrimental to my own mental health, because if you get like bad PMS, you probably understand what I mean, where you're getting angry or upset, like whether that's crying or frustrated, whatever the case may be, you're emotionally unstable, and you consciously know, like logically, that you are being ridiculous and that it's not a big deal, it really doesn't matter, but you can't help but have this like emotional reaction to whatever it can be. It could be McDonald's yet again forgot to put ketchup packets in your bag and have a meltdown about it. Like, that sort of emotional response is what I was having, and it was like 24/7, 365 when I was on some birth control. So we're trying very low dose. And also because so I was telling you in my last update that period was 18 days. 18. An average period is 4 to 7 days. So there's definitely something amiss there. And then this period was so heavy. I was going through super tampons in 45 minutes. 45 minutes. And it was to the point where I was feeling lightheaded. Like, that is a significant amount of blood loss. So I'm hoping that the birth control pill will help with that too. Also, my hair has started falling out again, which I did touch on. It's been happening for the last few weeks. I'm sure you can, like, this craziness here, this is the new growth from the first time my hair started falling out, around 3 or 4 months postpartum. And then it's like I had about, I had like 2.5, 3 months worth of hair loss, and then about 3 months where my hair wasn't falling out nearly as bad, and I was like, okay, I think I'm over the hump. that is where all this growth started coming in. It was growing back, you know, pretty well. Like all this is new growth here. But my hair started falling out yet again. So we're going to try the birth control pill. I need to go get blood work, but my doctor also thinks that it is stress related. So with the move, planning the wedding, and I'm just a very like high strung, anxiety ridden, like stressful personality person as it is. And with all these like big life events like stacking up on that as well, I have been feeling very stressed, very anxious. So yeah, I do need to take a chill pill. That was one of my New Year's resolutions as well, was to learn how to relax. I don't know how to relax. Everything I've tried doesn't actually help me to relax. I've tried yoga, baths, I've done acupuncture. Like I've tried a lot of different things, some for stress specifically, others just happen to be a stress relief for a lot of people as well. I just need to find something that works for me, and she said that might help the period issue as well as the hair loss issue. I have not been working out over the last month pretty much at all, except for like here and there. I like to throw in some exercises throughout my day. So say Wyatt is sleeping, so let's say I'm doing laundry, so I'm going up and down the stairs a little bit. I will do some squats at the top and the bottom of the stairs. I will lunge down the hallway, or like lunge back and forth to put clothes away, calf raises while I'm brushing my teeth, things like that. Every once in a while I feel like getting my heart rate up, I'll do some jumping jacks when I'm cooking supper or something like that. When Wyatt's getting cranky and I'm trying to get stuff to do, we dance around, which is a good source of cardio. Things like that. But I haven't been able to dedicate half an hour to an hour of time to working out. I could fit it in my day if I'm like being honest, but I've been choosing to spend that time on other things, such as daily vlogging, which I've been daily vlogging as well as maintaining my beauty channel. So that is 1 to 2 videos per day. That's a lot of work. And I guess if you don't do YouTube videos, like that probably doesn't really seem like that big of a deal, but it is a lot of work, and I'm loving to do it, or else I wouldn't continue doing it. But that is taking up a lot of my time, which is my choice. So I don't want to be like, oh, I don't have time to work out, it's not my fault. It is my fault, but that's a choice I'm making right now. We'll see how that goes on. And also we've been eating like absolute crap, if I'm being honest, except for this week. I made a really conscious effort to make a solid meal plan, and I have been sticking to it, except for Tuesday during the snowstorm when there was no power at the grocery store, which Tuesdays are our grocery shopping nights. We ended up getting McDonald's, which it was so good, but so bad at the same time. You know, when you're eating it, you're like, oh, I love fast food. And then half an hour later, you're like, oh my God, I'm never eating there again. That's what happened. So I will show you my 10-month postpartum body, but I haven't stepped on a scale. I could be fatter than I was before. I really need to get serious about losing this baby weight before the wedding though. Okay, so this is what I'm looking like with clothes on. This is what I'm most self-conscious about. I still have a really significant pooch situation. I'm not sure what other moms call it, but that's what I call it. I notice it more and more now that I'm daily vlogging, because I see it every day on camera. But like this is the extra that I want to get rid of, especially since like the rest of me I feel like is not that big. Maybe you disagree, but this is like my major trouble area. This is what I look like with my shirt up. See what I mean? Like, I continue to get tighter in here, which I feel like now you can really see that definition there at my rib cage and my hip. This part of me continues to get tighter, like just right here, like my waist, but it's not really like cinching in all the way anymore. Like this has remained pretty loose, like it's loose even up here. Like my bump was pretty high because I don't have much space in my torso. I have like a really short torso and longer legs, so my like pregnant bump was right up under my boobs, and this whole area is all like loose skin, and this is the worst of it. I feel like if this didn't really go in, like whatever, but I want this part to go in more. Like all of that is loose skin, like even down here, loose, loose, loose. You see what I mean? Like I don't even know if that can be helped with anything but a tummy tuck. If you know, please let me know. I've tried all of the lotions and potions, and because the majority, I do have some fat here, like I can't stray away from that too, but the majority of this issue is loose skin. So no amount of crunches is going to help it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that is what my 10-month postpartum belly is looking like. Okay, so now that is everything I have to share with you for Wyatt's 10-month update as well as my 10-month postpartum update. Again, if you'd like to see what he looks like, how big he is, how well he's moving, please check out my vlogs. I work really hard on those every day, and that way you can see him in action. It's just so much easier this way to do it while he's napping. If you enjoyed today's update, please do give me a thumbs up so that I know, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!